In this video, I'm going to talk about typecasting and some of the important functions used for typecasting. So what is typecasting? If you want to change between the types, for example, if you want to change a string to a number or a number to a string, it's called typecasting. So in PHP, if you want to change a value of a string, for example, to an integer, PHP interpreter will make educated guesses. For example, consider this value here. We have a variable 1 here and a string, and the second one we add this variable 1 with a number integer 3. In previous version, it does not give this error, but as of PHP 8, it will give an numeric value encounter error. But as you can see here, we had the value of 5. So it take this value of 2 from the very first one and add it with the 3. And when we echo this value, it's showing 5. But it's giving an error because the first variable was a string. In previous version, you might not seen this error, but you just seen a string. So PHP make an educated guess on how to convert to variables of different type of data type. Now we have a function called getType. It returns the type of a type of a variable or a value. So the first one, the var1 is a string, is showing a string, and the second one, the var2, is because 5. And now it's converted the type here to an integer, and that's why it's showing an integer. We have another function called setType, which set the type of a variable or a value so to a specific type, or convert it to a specific type. So as you can see here, variable 2 was an integer. Now when we echo, as you can see, it's a string. Now it's shown as a string. Now if you want to convert to a type, we have another way. And the other way is using the parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we type the data type that we want to convert the variable. We created another variable called it var3, and we changed the var1, which was a string, to an integer. As we can see here, it's showing an integer. So now the value var3 is a number, an integer. We have also another function called array. So there are a couple of functions that we can use to check the type of the variables. Array function is a function that check whether a variable is an array or not. In this case, a var1, which is a string, it's showing an empty string, or it's false because I write it with this string. It changed the false value to an empty string. So array function will return true if an array, if a variable is an array, return false if it's not. So it's showing it's returning false value. Now we have the function is_bool, which check whether a variable is a boolean value or not. So in this case it's not, that's why it's showing an empty string, or it's returning a false value. Because var1 is an integer, it's also not showing false, because float function is a function that check whether a value is a float number or not, or a decimal number or not. Now because the var1 was a string, that's why int is another function check whether a value is an integer or not. So it's not, that's why it's showing false. Now null function check for null value, and numeric check for a numeric value, whether a value is numeric or not. And at last we have the string function check whether a value is a string. It's showing 1 because this var1 is a string value, and because we show it in this like this, it's automatically converted to string. That's why true become the value of 1.